In this episode, I'll be sharing my tips for getting over heartbreak so that you can manifest a better dating life. So let's get started.
Hi, I'm Katie, and after many years as a struggling single mum, I transformed into a highly successful manifester with multiple businesses, better relationships, financial abundance, and way more peace, joy, and happiness in my life. Each week, I share the real secrets around how to manifest successfully, as well as the amazing and sometimes crazy lessons I've learned along the way, so that you can apply it all to your own manifesting, transforming your life from the inside out. This is That Manifesting Podcast.
Welcome back to That Manifesting Podcast. Lovely to have you here. If you're a first-time listener, welcome along. Go back, listen to all the old episodes, and I'm sure you'll find some useful nuggets of manifesting stuff. If you are a returning listener, thanks for coming back. It's lovely to be here with you. I hope wherever you are in the world, it's sunny and nice, because I'm looking out my window now and there are clouds and it's grey and it's horrible. But I'm feeling good, although I am feeling a little bit, what's the word? Nervous. And I'll tell you why. So I, for a long time, have always received a lot of intuition and guidance through my dreams. Normally, it happens when either something amazingly phenomenal is about to happen, or when I'm about to enter a period of my life that's really challenging. And over the last couple of weeks, I have been having the most intense dreams. After so many years of really getting to know myself and, working on my spiritual development and all of that stuff, I can tell the difference now between a dream that is guidance and intuitive and a dream that's just walking down the high street in your knickers kind of dream, one that's just to be forgotten about. And I am getting the most intense, intuitive and guided dreams. So I know that something's going to happen. I don't know what, but I know that it's going to happen. I will keep you all updated. But yeah, it's making me a little bit nervous. I'm okay with it, because even if it's something really challenging, I know that everything in life is just a season. If it's something bad, then something good has to follow. It's just about riding that storm. So yeah, I will share one of the dreams that I had, and I was in this room and there was lots of paper and pens and everything all around, and I looked down. And I don't know if you ever remember invisible ink, where the words would just appear on the paper. And I was looking at this one piece of paper, and these words kept coming up all over the paper. And it said, "We're here," as in we are here. And it just kept coming, "We're here, we're here, we're here, we're here." And at the time, I felt really comforted by that, because I've been going through a little bit emotionally with Christmas coming up. Now, I absolutely love Christmas, but this Christmas coming is going to be the first Christmas that I haven't been with my daughter on Christmas Eve and Christmas morning. She's got her own home and she's got a little dog, so she can't come and stay with me because her dog and Bumble, my dog, do not get along. So she can't come and stay. The only time I'll be seeing her is going to be Christmas lunch for a few hours. And that has been making me feel all kinds of ways, because I've never been alone for Christmas Eve or Christmas morning. I'm meeting up all the family together, Christmas lunch, and then my sister is staying over with me on Christmas night. So that's going to be amazing. But I've been getting very nervous about Christmas Eve and Christmas morning. If you've got any tips on what to do so that I don't feel quite so lonely, I would love those. Text in and let me know. But I want to try and overcome it. I see it as just another part of my journey as someone who's happily single. You know, I do love my own company, but this is a new experience for me. So it's something I'm trying to navigate. And I'd done a meditation, basically calling on my spirit guides and my higher self, the universe, whoever's out there, anyone can come and tell me what I need to do, guide me. Let me know that I'm not on my own trying to navigate this. And that's what I was asking for. And it was that same night that I had this dream. We're here. And if that had ever happened to me in real life, I would have freaked out and it would have been like something out of a horror movie. But because it was in my dream, seeing words appearing randomly on a piece of paper was not scary at all. But when I woke up, I knew that this dream was a guided, intuitive dream, and it was a message that had come to me to let me know that I was being protected and guided. So that made me feel good. But since then, I've been getting more and more dreams that have nothing to do with me being on my own at bloody Christmas. So it's made me feel a little bit nervous, but also excited because it could be that something phenomenal is about to happen. As I said, I will keep you updated. As soon as I know, you'll know. Okay, let's do this week's question of the week. Thank you for texting in. I don't know who you are because it doesn't give me a name. If you do text in with a question, please do leave your name at the end just so I can give you a shout out. But the question of the week that came in via text this week is, how do you bounce back from disappointment when your manifesting isn't working? I love this question because when you look at social media and all of that fun stuff, it makes it seem like manifesting is just a click of the finger jobby and all you have to do is think a bit positive and you get what you want. There's not loads that talks about how to bounce back from disappointment. I love this question. The first thing that I want to say is that manifesting is always working. There is this misconception that you can decide to manifest or not manifest. You can almost like it's something that, how can I phrase this? Something that's like a task, and that's not it. Manifesting is like breathing. It just happens. The choice that you have is whether you control the outcome or not. Just like breathing, your breathing will fall into a natural flow and you will just breathe without thinking about it on autopilot. That's like manifesting. It will just happen. It will look at your identity, it will look at your beliefs, and then you will manifest outcomes based on those things, whether you choose to or not. But just like breathing, you can choose to take control of it. So you can choose to hold your breath. You can choose to breathe faster or slower. That's the same with manifesting. You can choose your outcome, and the way that you control that is by changing your identity. As you know, if you've listened to any of my episodes before, that is the hill that I will die on, is that you always have to look at your identity if your manifesting isn't working, or as you expected, not working, because manifesting is always working. It's your alignment with what you want that's not working. That's what you have to put into place and course correct. And one way that one thing that really made me laugh, I will share this with you. My grandson is in that incredible stage where he is talking, finding his voice, and he says the most hilarious things. But his favourite phrase is try again. And he says it for absolutely everything. So if you said to him, what would you like to eat? And he said cake. And you said, oh no, have a banana. He will say, no, try again. Which makes us howl with laughter. Or if you offer him anything and he doesn't like it, his response isn't no thank you, it's try again. And that's what he says for everything. And that really sums up, if manifesting isn't working in the way that you wanted it to, you have to try again. You have to look at what element of your identity, what element of your actions or your beliefs or the stories that you tell yourself are going against what you want to manifest. You have to correct those things and then try again. Just like my grandson, gorgeous boy. It's like when you go off course when you're driving, which I know a lot about because I get lost super easy. You're always going to get there. Oh, maybe not if you're me, because I can get lost in an empty room. But on the whole, when you're driving, if you get a bit lost, you're still going to get where you need to go. You just have to course correct and get back on the right route again. That's the same with your manifesting. So my advice is, bouncing back from disappointment, if you stick in that feeling of disappointment, all you're going to be doing is keeping yourself in disappointment, which is a negative feeling, which is going to create more disappointment in your life. That's all you can manifest when you're living from disappointment. If something doesn't go right with your manifesting, something that you want isn't happening, go inwards, look at what is happening inside you. Are you doubting that you can actually have what you want? Are you showing up as the person who truly believes that they can have what they want? Don't let disappointment guide you towards desperation. Use the lessons that you're learning about things that aren't manifesting and course correct the things that need to be done. That is my advice to you. Thank you again for that question. I absolutely love it. And as always, text in if you've got any of your own questions that you want me to cover in a future question of the week. Okay, let's get into today's manifesting chat, which, as I said at the top of the show, it's 5 things that I had to do to heal from heartbreak so that I could go on to manifest a better dating life. And it's tough, isn't it? It's tough when you've gone through a difficult breakup and you feel that sense of loss so deeply, and you ask yourself questions and you replay situations over and over and over again, wondering if you could have done anything different, wondering why they didn't do something different. All of these questions that go on in your mind. And at some point, you decide that it's time to get back on the dating horse again and try and manifest something different in your love life. But a lot of people don't take the time to heal properly so that they're standing themselves in the best possible place to be able to manifest a better dating life. And what happens if you don't go through the process of healing properly and getting yourself ready, all you will manifest are more people that really nudge and prod those insecurities, those fears that you have. You might have found it before where you might have had a breakup and then you go on dates, or you start speaking to people and you get ghosters, you get love bombers, you get emotionally unavailable people. And all it does is solidifies that sense of, this is not going to work for me. And quite often that's because you have the remnants of an old relationship that is driving your manifestation results. So all you can attract is more and more of the same, more people that might make you feel the way that you felt at the end of that relationship. These tips are things that I have done myself, so I know that they work. They are things that all of my one-to-one clients have done, so they know that they work, and they do help you get in the right place for manifesting something better in your dating life as you move forward. Now, full disclaimer, We can't control everyone that comes into our lives, so you will still get some of these people that you don't want to crop up. They will still crop up. But when you've done the work to heal, you can actually handle those situations, and more so, you can hold yourself to a higher standard and know exactly what you deserve and exactly what you're worthy of in terms of the way that you're treated. And you will let these people go a lot faster than maybe you would when you're still in the throes of heartbreak and trying to get over a previous relationship. That was my little, what was that? Little rant? Little rant. Only a slight rant, not a big rant for me, just a little one. Let's get into it. So the first one is you have to allow yourself to grieve fully for the end of the relationship. This might sound obvious, but there are so many people that just try and rush through the pain of heartbreak because it bloody hurts. And you just want to numb it. So quite often it's, what is it they say? To get over someone, you have to get under someone else. Not true. That is the worst advice. You have to let yourself feel that hurt, feel that loss. Go through I said in a previous episode, I would sit eating my ice cream, crying, watching Love Actually, listening to George Michael, I Can't Make You Love Me song. I mean, how embarrassing. But you have to do it. It's such an important step in releasing past emotions and reconciling your mind with what's happened. And it is the first step to moving forward with a clearer, open heart. If you try to mask what you're feeling, it will come up in your manifestations because you might mask it, but it's still there. Like weeds in a garden. You can cut the head off a weed and try and put a pretty flower on top. But unless you remove that weed from the root, it's still going to come up again, time and time again. It might take a little while, but it will still come back. And that's what happens when you don't allow yourself to grieve fully for the end of the relationship. It's okay to feel bad. It's okay to feel angry. You won't live there. It's just a phase, and you have to let yourself go through that. Anyone that is telling you how to manifest and is trying to tell you just to think positively and ignore these thoughts is giving you the wrong advice. It does not work. Because until you fully let go of these emotions, you can never move on. And masking them with just trying to get out and dating straight away is not going, it's just not the one. You have to let yourself grieve fully for the end of the relationship. The next thing that I didn't do for the longest time, but actually it was a really powerful shift in my manifesting when it came to my love life, was I had to reflect on the lessons learnt. Every single heartbreak reveals something valuable about yourself or your needs. Even my very worst relationships, where it felt like every single moment of that was a complete shit show, still taught me something. It either taught me something about myself in terms of a strength that I didn't realise I had, a weakness that I needed to develop and become better at. It would teach me about a boundary that I didn't realise I had, and I would know that I needed that in a future relationship. It would teach me what I didn't want. When you can look back at a relationship and pick out the lessons, it helps you understand what you truly want from somebody, and that can prevent you from manifesting old patterns in new relationships. Now, there is a fine line here, because some people can look at it and take these things on as a story. So they might say the lesson is, oh my God, I always get cheated on. That's the lesson I learnt. That is not a lesson. That is a story that you're choosing to take on for yourself. The lesson in that situation would be, I am manifesting a partner in the future that would rather gouge his own eyes out with a spoon than cheat on me. Something like that. There's a difference between a lesson and a story that's not going to be helpful to your manifesting. Think about the lessons. And I would actually encourage you to do this. If you are struggling with getting over something or someone in terms of a relationship, or maybe it was just somebody you were dating and you thought it was going to go somewhere and it didn't, I would encourage you to sit down with a pen and paper. Pen and paper allows your intuition to flow. So write it down. Don't do it on your phone, in your notes. Write it down. And really think about the lessons that you've learned from previous relationships. Either in terms, like I said, it can be something that you've learned about yourself that you didn't realise before in a positive way. Something that you've identified that you need to get better at. A new boundary that you've discovered, or a quality that you've discovered that you really want from a future relationship. Reflect on the lessons learned, and it really starts to shift your mindset into one of positive, but a natural positive position when it comes to love. The third thing that I had to do was reconnect with myself. I know this sounds like some cheesy shit, but it's true. I'm sorry, it's true. You have to, when you have gone through heartbreak, you have to give yourself time to fall back in love with yourself. So many times at the end of a relationship, if you're anything like I was, you put the blame on yourself. What did I do wrong? You go through these stages. You can go through a stage of blaming them and being angry at them and everything is their fault. But then at some point, you come back around and you start to turn everything back on yourself. I used to do it in an argument, and I would, you're this, you're that, you did this, you did that. I'd phone my friend, I'd phone my mum, I'd be like, they did this, da 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 da. But then when the anger subsided, I would turn it all back on myself, whether it was my fault or not. Everything became my fault. Shouldn't have done this, shouldn't have done that. Why did I'm not good enough, I'm this, I'm that. Why don't they want me? Why do they treat me like this? What am I doing wrong? And that can be especially heightened when you've come out of a relationship where you believe that you're the problem. And I'm not saying that you're not. You might have things that you need to work on. But even if you have things to work on, you have to do that with love and compassion for yourself. When you're trying to heal from heartbreak, you have to reconnect with yourself. Focus on your own needs, your passions, your self-care. When you fully understand and love yourself on a deep, authentic, genuine level, then you can start to attract someone who values the real you. And that's what creates a solid foundation for a future relationship. Please do this. And like I said, I know it sounds like some cheesy bullshit, but I promise it's not. If you can't love yourself, flaws and all, if you don't put your own needs and self-care as a priority, why would anybody else? What you're manifesting is a position that I don't value myself. So remember, manifesting is a mirror. All you can manifest are people that also don't value you, don't value your self-care. It all starts with you. Everything in manifesting all starts with you. Before we get on with the episode, I want to tell you about something that will be a game changer if you're trying but have been unsuccessful in manifesting love. Have you been manifesting ghosters, emotionally unavailable people, people who break your heart, or maybe no one's showing up in your life at all? If so, you might be feeling like there's no one decent out there and you'll never manifest the relationship that you want. But here's the thing, every experience that you've had in your previous relationships has formed subconscious beliefs that impact the type of people you manifest today. These beliefs can cause you to make autopilot decisions and mistakes that can quite literally repel love and stall you from meeting your person. Now, I say mistakes, but this isn't in a blame sense. You haven't done anything wrong because your subconscious mind is doing all this without you even being aware, and it's just trying to keep you safe from getting hurt. But to manifest a better love life, something has to change. So the question is, how can you ever expect to manifest a better dating life and love without even knowing what those subconscious mistakes are? In my new free secret podcast series, I'll be revealing the big subconscious mistakes that are keeping you single. The only way you can listen to the series is by registering and getting your name on the wait list. So all you have to do is click the link to register. It's in the show notes below, and you'll be the first to receive the secret podcast as soon as it launches. And then you can take the first step to manifesting a better love life. Okay, so the next thing that I had to do to heal from heartbreak so that I could really improve my dating life was I had to learn how to forgive and let go of resentment. I know what you're thinking. This is more cheesy shit. But it might be cheesy, but it's not shit. It's true. And I think forgiveness in general gets a bad rap. Why? Because quite often people have a misconception that forgiving someone means you have to be okay with what they did. And that's not true. Forgiveness in manifestation terms is about cutting the ties with the past so that you can go on to manifest something different in the future. I have had some absolute shockers of relationships, and there have been things that have happened that are truly unforgivable, and I don't forgive them. I don't forgive the actions that some people have done to me. I just don't. But I have learnt to forgive them. The way that I did that was through reframing. Now, this is a huge topic. I want to make this really clear. When I work with my one-to-one clients on this is a huge part of what keeps them stuck for a while, because there's so much to unpick. There's so much to change in the mindset. I don't want you to think that this is an easy thing, or I don't want you to think that I think that this is an easy thing, because it's absolutely not. It's something I struggled with. But when you're holding on to resentment, it just keeps you tied to the past. If you're tied to the past, all you can manifest is more stuff that is reflective of your past. There has to be a way to forgive. Now, I tend to do this in a reframing sense. When I think about, there's one ex in particular that I can think about who did things to me that were so horrific, I can never forgive those actions. But I learnt to forgive them because I know now with my rational mind that they had a lot that had happened in their past that impacted the way they showed up in life. I chose to forgive the person that had gone through those things, because that's what ended up creating the actions that happened in our relationship. I didn't forgive the person that did them to me. I didn't forgive the actions themselves, but I did forgive that person from years and years ago who I didn't even know. I forgave them because I could do that with compassion in my heart. When I knew the things that they had been through, I felt sad and hurt for them. That was the person I was able to forgive. And that's where there's a big difference. When you just see some I don't know, shitty little post on Instagram that says, forgiveness is the secret to happiness. It doesn't tell you how to actually do that in the real world. Because there's a lot of people out there that go through shitty things. I'm not telling you to forgive or to make it okay if somebody did something to you. I'm telling you, find something that you can forgive so it allows you to break that tie. For me, that's how I did it. I would try and look at it from their perspective. What had happened in their life that had made that thing happen? Where was the point in time that I could look at them with compassion and forgive that person because I knew how it was all going to end up and turn out? Or maybe you want to forgive them based on the fact of knowing, do you know what? You lost something really good and I feel really sad for you. I forgive you for that. Whatever it is, find something. Again, I know this stuff isn't easy, especially if you've been through some really hard shit. It's not easy, but it is one of the biggest keys to being able to open yourself up to something new, something positive when it comes to your dating and love life. So you have to learn how to forgive and let go of that past resentment. The final thing that I had to do was focus on the relationship that I wanted. That sounds really simple, doesn't it? But a lot of the conversations I have with people when they want to manifest something new in their dating life or a new relationship or even their soulmate, they will tell me, well, I like dark-haired people. I like them to be this height. I'd prefer them to be in this home ownership situation, or I don't want them to have children, or whatever it might be. It's very superficial. And that will never work out well when it comes to manifesting, because okay, you might get a 6'2" dark-haired god that has no children, £1 million in the bank and all of that stuff, but he could be a complete arsehole. That's where people go wrong. Sometimes you get exactly what you ask for, but when you're focusing on manifesting the wrong things, that's where you start to get love bombers, ghosters, emotionally unavailable people, all of these good things that we don't want. What you have to do when you want to manifest a new relationship or even a dating life, focus on the qualities that you want someone to have. Focus on the feelings that you want to feel in a relationship. Do you want somebody that goes through life thinking life is, glass half full? Do you want someone who makes it their mission to make you laugh every single day? Do you want somebody that you look at and you just fancy the pants off them? Do you want someone who makes you feel safe, secure, protected? Do you want somebody who revels in your independent nature, somebody who spurs you on to be the best you can be? Whatever it is for you, that's what you need to focus on manifesting. It doesn't matter who the person is, because if somebody delivers all of those things that you want in terms of feelings and experiences and qualities, it won't matter who they are. And that's where people get lost in manifesting love. They build up this picture of what somebody looks like and what they will do and all of that stuff, but they forget about the qualities and the feelings that they want to feel. Take some time to think about that, because it's amazing how liberating it is. And you will find, if you are on dating apps, you might find that you look at them slightly differently, because if you looked at some of the people that I've dated, if I'd have just seen them on a dating app, I might not have immediately picked them. But they delivered the qualities that I was looking for. And that's what made them attractive to me. Switch your focus from the way somebody looks. Have it in your plan that you want to have somebody that you want to rip their clothes off, because then that will happen. but don't put yourself into a little box of thinking they can only be this height, because you run the risk of manifesting somebody that meets those superficial things but treats you like dog shit, and that's not good for anybody. Those are my 5 things. One thing that I did actually just want to go back on that I've just thought of, when I say about forgiveness, I also want you to remember, forgive yourself. It's not all about forgiving the person. Quite often when a relationship ends and the anger calms down and you turn that focus on yourself, I really want you to remember that you have to forgive yourself. Even if you've done something shitty, you have to learn to forgive yourself and give yourself the self-compassion and love that you would want a partner to give you. I wanted to add that in there because as I was talking, I was thinking, I don't like I didn't want it all to feel like it's forgiving other people, because sometimes we do shitty things ourselves. So make sure that you forgive yourself too. Okay, let me recap. The first one was allow yourself to grieve fully. The next one, reflect on the lessons learnt. Reconnect with yourself. Forgive and let go of past resentment. And focus on the relationship that you want in terms of qualities, experiences.
So that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed listening, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe and leave a review, because it really does help me to reach more people. I've left some links in the show notes so you can connect with me, or you can grab one of my manifesting resources. Until next week, sending you lots of love, light and manifesting vibes.